Hello,
Not
hello.
live. Not
Not
live.
live.
Pre-recorded. Welcome to the first ever episode of RanD Meets Unplugged. Today, I'm thrilled and honored to have an incredibly special guest for our first show. Joining me is Tim Wolozyn. Is that the correct pronunciation?
That is close enough, brother. Wolozyn. Close enough.
Perfect. Lead singer and guitarist of EWL, aka Even Without Life. Since their emergence in 2021, EWL has been turning heads in the Quad Cities with a raucous blend of classic punk, pop punk, and horror punk. With their relentless energy, Tim and bandmate Dustin Folk have spent the last couple of years touring and building up an ever-growing fan base across Iowa and beyond. Outside of the band, Tim has become something of a legend in the indie music community as the host of the wonderful EWL Indie Review Show. Dedicated to promoting underground artists, the EWL show has become our go-to show to discover all of the best indie talent. Broadcast live every Friday night, Tim's unique brand of talent spotting, energy, and enthusiasm have captured the hearts of the indie community. A champion even of our little band, RanD, we're extremely thankful for all the support and love Tim has given us since we first met earlier this year. So I hope that introduction did you the justice that you deserve, sir. How are you?
Yeah, it did, dude. Hell yeah, it did.
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, brother. I'm fucking pumped for this interview, man. First one on the R&D, baby. Let's get rock and roll.
And you've got the Fraz Band t-shirt there. I like that.
Dude, I gotta sport them, man. The Fraz Band, Andy Fraz, hooking me up with the t-shirt, man. Hell yeah.
I love Fraz Band. I'm going to straight away with the first plug for Fraz Band. Such nice guys and really good in the British, like the kind of music that I loved when I grew up. Great stuff.
Fantastic stuff.
So what have you been up to this weekend?
Holy shit, man. This weekend, well, Friday I had that killer review show and those crazy interviews. And then Saturday morning, I talked with Underground Rock, the owners of that page. Interviewed them and got to know them a little bit as individuals, and how they came together as a group and, all that type of stuff. And then I jumped into a show at a punk house, man.
Yeah, I saw something on Facebook that you were going to stream live party last night. I was like, Tim's having a fun weekend.
Oh, it was fucking nuts. I wish I could have live streamed it, but I fucking no Wi-Fi. What can you do? Out in the sticks, man. The butt crack of Iowa, Ryan. It's rough.
You're in Davenport, right?
So that's where the band originally, kind of started. But Dustin moved to Missouri, and then I moved out here to southern Iowa. So it kind of, we're pretty far apart, but he drives the 4.5 hours, or we meet up and we make it happen. But yeah, originally we're from the Quad Cities. Yeah, Davenport.
I don't know a lot about Iowa. I was looking at, you'll see here, I've got a little map coming up. So you've got like 4 cities equidistant almost to each other within the state. Is that right?
Yep. It's a fucking wild, it's a weird thing, man. And so it's 4 cities mashed into one. And, the music scene out there it's wild, but there's not really a big punk scene. It's more like a rock and roll / progressive rock, alternative rock scene, which is fine. Great fucking music. But I love me some classic punk, going to those shows.
Well, I'd really love to go to the US. Like me and Diana, she was not that excited to go to the US until we started this band. And now she's like, oh, I want to go to the United States. I'm desperate to go. Yeah. I want to meet everyone out there. I'm like, definitely. We'd love to. This is one of our dreams to get a camper van and just go tour.
Oh, yeah, man. And just fucking go. Oh, it's so fucking cool. And out here, man, it's so easy to do. There's to grab a van and just roll around the whole country. You can do it. It's fucking super simple.
Really, like a super fortunate thing, I guess, for people in the United States because you have that variety of culture and variety of climate and everything from one coast to the other. Europe's kind of like that, but now Europe has become less easy to travel. I'm British, and now they took away my right to like just go around everywhere on a train. That's what I did when I was a kid. So yeah, it's so sad. But US must be so cool for that.
A lot of a lot of differences, and I would love to go to Europe though. That'd be awesome. That's one of my dreams is to leave this country, go to a more fun country than the other ones I've been to, but go to Europe or go to UK, something like that. I want to just fucking go. And Spain, Barcelona, right? That's where you're at.
That's where we're at.
Fucking shit, man. That is a beautiful country. Beautiful.
Barcelona is a cool place. I've been here 12 years now, and I'm kind of at the point where we'd like to try something else. Diana, she's lived in London and New York, Barcelona, Colombia. So she is the kind of girl that wants to leave after 10 years.
Right. Wants to go.
So we're thinking maybe the Netherlands, but
hey, that'd be cool.
It's difficult at the moment, but everything's so uncertain. It's economy and work.
It's fucking crazy.
But I want to go back in time, Tim. I want to learn more about you and your childhood. So tell me, when you were a kid, what was the first signs that hinted that you were going to take out passing music? Music was something you wanted to do.
Well, growing up, it was always a really big thing. It was was soft rock music for my dad. We loved listening to Van Halen, Journey, Boston, all those wonderful bands. But I was always on the search for something a little bit different, a little bit more unique.
Yeah.
And because I thought a lot of these hair metal bands, they all sounded the same. They all are these soft rock bands. They all sounded the same. They're singing about different things, but they all have very similar voices, and it matched up for me. And I was like, man, I want to find something that's different. And then I found this record in the garage, and it was a Rush record, Fly by Night, and it had a bunch of dust all over it. And I said, oh, fuck yeah, what is this thing? I put it on, and then it was history. I started looking around for, all types of music, rock related, metal related. And then suddenly I found another record, and it was Black Flag. And I was like, oh shit. And then from there, punk was born. And then, fast forward about 10 years, I was a chubby kid. I got picked on quite a bit. And I was like, fuck, man, and I was a punk, so I was already not accepted. So I wore the black clothes and all that stuff, but I was a little meatball, got picked on a lot, so and then I found this, yeah. And then I found this guitar, man. It was my mom's guitar. I found it in the back of the closet, and it was an acoustic guitar. It was a Yamaha, and I picked it up, and I was like, if I play this, I will get girls. It didn't work like that. It didn't work, but it helped. It helped. And then I started to play guitar, and it opened up a whole new world for me. And then, it was a huge thing for me when I was in the military and when I was out and about, to be able to listen to music and and go to a different place than the place I was currently at, then it was amazing for me. And that's what got me to continue on.
That was something I was curious about. You were in the military. Where were you stationed?
So I was stationed all over the place. I won't get too much. I was in 8 years. 8 years. But the primary station I was at was the 135th Chemical Company out of McChesney Park. It was it's a chemical unit that they deal with decontamination from dirty bombs. So if there's a explosive that goes off in the area, instead of calling the fire department or the hazmat, we have to deal with it a certain way. And you decontaminate, you do medical care to these people, and a bunch of other jazz. So that was the last unit I ended up with. But yeah, and then Hallie, she was a combat medic, and she was as a fucking badass. But we met in the Army. And then that's how we kind of got together. And
how long have you been married?
A year.
A year.
Yeah. It'll be a year in November. So yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. But there's as far as that goes, there's a bunch of stories. Fort Jackson, South Carolina was there. Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, Fort Sam. So yeah, there's a few spots I've been to. Kuwait, all that stuff.
Great.
All that stuff, yeah. So there are a few spots.
But nothing, nothing too scary, Afghanistan or Iraq.
No Afghanistan, man. That's that. A lot of buddies, and with Afghanistan. Crazy stuff. Yeah.
Tough times.
Yeah, but my MOS, it required just a different approach. So if something went really bad when it happened, then if you're calling us, then it's probably already too late. If it's a massive biological thing.
So what did you do since leaving that?
So leaving them, I work in the medical field.
I saw a picture of you and I thought this.
Yep. So I work in the medical field. I work in urology, oncology, and men's health. So I primarily spend a lot of time in cancer, so oncology, with cancer patients, doing chemo treatments and things like that with them. And I'll tell you this, Ryan. No one wants to do that. No one wants to do the cancer clinic, and I am the first fucker that will sign up for it. And the thing I say is, you can do the deadbeat job, urology, rooming patients, and the same thing over and over again. But when you get a cancer patient coming in there, and they have the worst attitude, right? They don't want to be there. They fucking hate this shit. But if I'm able to make that person smile before they leave, fucking A. That is the best feeling. And it might be selfish for me to get that feeling, but I'll tell you, if I'm able to make that patient smile and leave with a smile after they received chemotherapy, that's fucking huge for me, man. And that's why I love doing this job, man.
There's definitely like 1% for you and 99 for them. Maybe it makes you feel good, but come on, that's like such an amazing career, really, to go down a career route to choose. I really like, for me, I cannot believe people can do these things. Doctors, nurses, people that work in these really difficult fields. For me, it's like, wow, I have all the respect for them, because I just couldn't do it. So yeah, I give you my full respect for that, man. That's really amazing. And yeah, if you can make someone smile when they're going through such a horrendous thing like that, and really more power to you. So,
and
I'm not surprised that you make them smile, and this is definitely one of your talents. When we discovered you, I was like, this guy Tim, the host this show, he's really good, he's such a funny guy. Amazing to get to know you like that. And then yeah, for sure, if you bring that energy to that kind of work, it must be really amazing benefit for you.
It gets really interesting at times. I'll tell you that. Some days it's a lot harder than others, because with cancer patients, as it's not the reality of it is a lot of them don't beat their cancer, and and you never know when it'll be the last time you see that patient when they come in. And because some of these people, hell, they're 90 years old. Combat veterans. I've talked to them. I'll skip lunch and I'll sit in their room with them and just talk with them. And people, they're like, Tim, what the fuck? You don't take a break, all day, and then you don't take lunch. What is that? And I'm like, I did take my lunch. I sat with Joe Schmo here, and I talked with him for whatever. I sat down. I'm good to go. But talking with some of these guys, he recently passed, but sitting down and talking with him, that's fucking. And for 30 minutes, the stories that this guy had were just insane, man.
I bet when the people like that, they're approaching, maybe they know it's the end, they're going to tell you a few more things than they might not have. That's when you're going to get someone at their most honest.
Exactly. And we, I've heard a lot of different things, Oh yeah.
Well, man, really, I give you so much respect for that kind of work, because, yeah, like I said, it's such a challenge. But
oh yeah,
really, because I get quite moved by these things emotionally. It must be emotionally draining. So I think, again, the type of character that you have with so much positivity and energy, I think you're able to sustain that even in spite of that. For me, that would bring me down make me too sad. Like,
well, it does, man. It does, Ryan. I mean, but when Friday hits and I'm able to do the show, dude, I all that negativity, like I said, because the job is hard and everything, but you build, it builds up, and then I'm like, it's like Thursday night, I'm listening to OTAT and I get ready. And then Friday night, I'm like, all right, I am all about positivity. Fuck everything that happened during the week. It is positivity time. Time to unload on everybody. And then that's what it just turns into, man. It's just bottles up.
It's working for you. I can tell you that. I think everyone, like, really, everyone that goes to that show loves that show. And I know the audience can be bigger, but I think you have to grow. And I'm sure that your talent in this field is going to be recognized sooner rather than later. Because really, we are so impressed with what you do. I don't want to make this like a love Tim episode.
No, for sure. You're good. You're good, brother.
But really, like, I mean, not just your kindness and all the amazing music, but just your energy, the way you enjoy the music, the way you put your facial expressions, your comments. It's all a really top-notch DJ. I never really like sat down and watched a music program like that before. Like, I love music, but I was never in the scene. I'm from Scotland.
Yeah.
I grew up around a lot of people in bands. Like, I always used to get asked, "Are you in a band?" I'm like, "No, I'm definitely not in a band." So I came from that scene, but then in Barcelona, it's a little bit different. So then to discover your show, wow, I feel young again, And I brought Dia in to watch. Like, I was watching my own because it's so late here. So I'm watching like one headphone, like quietly with a cup of tea, and I'm like, really, I need to get some whiskey for this, and I need to have a proper party with this. So then when you played our track, like, Diana was so excited. So then we started like making a thing of it, getting the whiskey out, staying up late.
I love that.
She's staying up with me, and we're putting the music up really loud and totally like feeling like we're in our youth again. So I think that's an amazing gift that you have to give a lot of us musicians and artists that are still dreaming of success, and you give us all amazing vibes.
I love that, man. I absolutely love that. And there's a lot of review shows, out there. And I was watching, and I don't know. I always feel like when someone gets in front of the camera, they feel that they can't 100% be themselves. I feel like they have to hide some of the things that make them who they are, and to appease a certain culture. And I see that in tons of review show videos. You see the guy listen, or the guy or gal listening, and they're like, and it's like, yeah, that's not what I do in my car when I listen to music, dude. Yeah. That's not what when I'm alone and I listen to music. That is fuck off. If I'm listening to RanD, I'm dancing. If I'm listening to fucking Spock, I'm dancing. Those bands, I'm gonna be fucking dancing. And that's what pretty much that I wanted. No filter, completely transparent. This is what you get. And if you like it, fuck yeah, man. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the madness. Let's enjoy ourselves. But if you don't like it, then there's those other review shows that maybe you can enjoy. But because not everyone likes the vulgar, and that's okay. That's just who I am. That's just, that's.
We like it. We like it. What was I going to say about that? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shows that we started to listen to, like, that maybe don't have the same energy, I'd say. But also, it's like your selection of music that's where we're making playlists from. I'm like, hear this music, like, so many talented bands that we would never have heard just because we've made our own little band.
Yeah.
We started into that. Yeah, I had another question for you in my mind, and it's gone.
You're good, brother. When we're getting to chit-chatting, so it kind of goes down a rabbit hole.
Especially when you're a smoker sometimes.
Oh yeah.
That thought. So let me go to the notes then to see what else I wanted to ask you. So much I wanted to ask you. I'm so happy to get this opportunity to speak to you, really, because like I say, we feel privileged to get to know you these last months.
Oh yeah.
And Dee is sad that she's not here. She's away this weekend. But
that's all right.
She's going to be on the show as well. I have to say, this is the RanD meets. It's not just going to be me. Dee is going to be joining us as much as possible because I think we have a good energy together for it. She likes to make fun of me.
Hell yeah. You bounce off each other during the show.
And I feel like alone doing this on my own. Like, why did I do this? But no, it's fun.
It's different.
I need to get a better camera. This is definitely the upgrade that we need. But let's get back to you. So one thing I can say about you is you're definitely extroverted. I'm imagining you said you got picked on in high school, but you were still, I'm sure you were still defending yourself, no? Because you seem like that kind of guy that wouldn't, you have this confidence, even maybe you developed that later in life. Tell me.
Yeah. I did. Yeah. So getting picked on, at first, I didn't fight back, man. It was a lot of abuse and a lot of, just shitty people, just people that didn't really, I don't know if they were so angry with themselves that they had to push it out to you. But, my dad, he was always the one that would say, stick up for yourself, you fucking animal, your last name's Wolozyn, you need to do it. You got it. And my mom would be like, take the high road, man. Don't fuck them. They're the ones that, they want to do it, then there's something wrong with them. But, you can only take so much, right?
Yeah.
So, I reached a point and my sister, she was an absolute fucking animal. She's the size of a fucking squirrel, yet she would take on my 6'2" bullies and she would make them look like a bitch. But again, she can only do so much, And then I joined the army, man. And then when I came back, no one fucked with me because then I had this, this chip on my shoulder. I was in great shape and I joined in high school. So I was 17 when I joined. Yeah. You go to boot camp, you come back, you do your senior year of high school, and then you go to your job training, and then bye-bye, you're shipped off. So, doing that, when I came back that junior year, these bullies and these guys that used to pick on me, they're like, oh, okay, this is different. This guy doesn't look like the gumball we once saw. And Ryan, I was in choir, I was in theater. Oh, fuck yeah. Me being a chubby kid, that didn't change. That funny, because when I was fat, I had to be funny. You had to be something to attract friends and things like that. My friends didn't give a shit, but doing that, I never lost that attitude or that comedy. So now you have this pretty much this jock guy, me. I was a wrestler, all that. So I'm in shape. I got the 6-pack, looking great. And it was hilarious because the guys that would bully me or used to bully me, now they wanted to come over to my house for parties because I would have indie bands at my house, because, for partying, and it was the best fucking music, man. And a bunch of people would show up and, who would I have stop them at the door? One of a short nerd that I used to hang out with, in freshman year in high school. I had him stop these massive jocks at the door and they'd be say, hey, no, man, you're not allowed in here. Tim doesn't like you.
That's so sweet, though.
Oh, what a slap in the face, right? And then, but continuing on with that, but I started to fight back junior year. A couple of them tried to test me still, and I was able to fight back. And then it ended. And then I moved on.
You came out of it the better.
Yeah, man. You got to, because shit, fucking life sucks, man. I've seen some crazy shit, and it takes you to a place of extreme negativity, and it'll bring you down, man. Anything will bring you down, really. And you have to find yourself, in a certain spot that you have to bring yourself out of it.
Yeah, man. I think we all go through kind of these varying levels of, let's say, bullying at school. I know I was as well. Like I was fat when I was a kid. Actually, I was fat until I was about 30. I wasn't super fat. Like I was fat when I was a teenager, and then I got less But then when I was 30, I was still like 100 kilos. It's like
Right, so still
200
bigger.
230, 240. But now I'm like, now I'm at 180. It's the thinnest I've ever been in my life. So it's like,
yes, it's different. Finally, yeah, dude, fuck yeah.
Finally, I'm not the fat guy. I love that. But no, when I was like 15, I moved to a new school, had no friends, and I was picked on for being like the posh guy because I didn't swear, because I was fat, because I said I was good at soccer or football, and all these things. And it was funny, like for 2 years, I didn't really have friends. I didn't get bullied so bad, a little bit, but not too much. But then I made friends with like the coolest guy in the whole school. So when you make friends with the coolest and toughest guy in the school, it's like all my problems were solved.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
Spectacular. This guy's like, no, Ryan's a fucking top guy. Leave him the fuck alone. And this guy,
dude.
This guy was only 1 meter, like 5'7", like 150 pounds, but tough, fucking
just
tough bastard.
Fucking dude.
A mean guy, but a sweet guy. So like we connected, and then suddenly I had this second arm, So that you develop your own confidence from that, I think. And
yeah, you do.
Suddenly at the end of high school, I was had a lot of friends and stuff. It's like, it's tough, man, when you're a kid. No, I was speaking to Dee about this. Like, I don't know how these kids today can grow up with social media
and
and survive that shit. Because if it was around in my time, for sure I would have been.
I didn't have it.
Never had that. We're lucky.
Yeah. So, MySpace came on there a little bit later on, but, yeah, we didn't really have that. So it was more in your face bullying, but, is that better or is that worse? I don't know.
I think that's psychological. Like, you can't sleep bullying because who's going to be sending you messages or making fun of you?
Right.
I mean, it must be terrible. Like, at least when you left school, went home, school was done. And that was like, okay, tomorrow will be a bad day, but I've got tonight. But for these kids today, poor kids.
Rough. It's rough. Ryan, you'd totally be the fucking dude I would hang out with in high school. Are you fucking kidding me? I would totally be like at your lunch table chilling out, man. That'd be a fucking blast. What? Fuck those guys, bro.
It's like when you go to the new place and everyone out, they're all like, everyone knows each other, and then who's this guy,
Oh, yeah.
I was totally shy when I was a kid. Like, I'm still pretty shy. That's why, like, I'm nervous to do this interview. And even though I love to speak, I'm introverted in the sense that I won't open up to everyone or anyone.
Right.
Obviously, if I do a podcast, I'm going to start doing that. But generally speaking, I'm quite shy. So that made it even worse. But I think, definitely you come through this and you become better.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. And it's our past experience who make us, bro.
Yeah, and Diana, she grew up in Bogota. So wow. Diana has some stories.
Oh, yeah. I can only imagine.
My stories, I thought I had good stories, but Diana's stories,
they're fucking out of the world.
Blow you out of the water, literally. Like she grew up in the 90s in Bogota. So at that time was Escobar.
Yeah, just fucking nightmare, so dude.
It was a crazy, crazy time. So I'm not going to tell those stories for her.
Right.
But yeah, I have to get her on this podcast soon.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I think we're going to have fun.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, you left. You went straight to the army. You didn't go to like college or university.
No. I joined the army and then learned medical training in the army and stuff like that, and then transferred that to civilian life. I was a paramedic in Chicago, Rockford, and then just continued on with the army and doing the medical stuff, in the emergency medicine. That's where most of my training is emergency medicine. But, and then just doing that. And then that became a little bit too much. And then Chicago's fucking worse than places I've been in the army. Some of them, it's rough. So I kind of gave that up and, I moved on to the more clinical side of things, got into men's health. And, when I was doing all of this stuff, I was just writing music. And I was just making as much music as I could on my own. And I didn't meet Dustin until about 3 years ago or 4 years ago now. It was like the end of 2020, early 2021. And, that's when shit was just gross with COVID and everything just hit and fucking shit went down. And then, and that's when me and him really connected with, through other band members. And we are like, fuck, let's do something. And we started making music and rocking and rolling. And then it just moved on from there. But yeah, civilian life, I went to just hopped right into the, like I said, emergency medicine to the men's health, hormonal health, and now I'm in urology and cancer.
It's good to know you, Tim. No? Yeah. You're a good guy to know. I'm 41.
I do have,
now, so.
When it comes to medical stuff, dude, me and my wife, we're fucking, we know a lot. So
glad to make your connection in that sense.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot. We could do a whole podcast about medicine.
Oh, dude, the stories, brother.
I'm a journalist the last 10 years. So I started off in CBD. CBD. So I did a lot of research about medicinal use of CBD, but then going off that into all the other medicines and drugs and prescriptions in the US. And just seeing what a mess that country is with the addiction
nuts
and the finance. Just, man, it's scary.
It's insane.
And then these companies that you're supposed to, I'm not going to get into this actually now, but yeah, wild stuff. What I wanted to say to you were talking about music. I'm going to keep on music. I want to go too political. Oh, yeah.
You're good, brother. You're good.
Oh, yeah. Save it till the end. You said Rush. You like Rush. That was a big influence for you. I'm going to tell you, I never heard about Rush until, I don't know if you've ever seen Trailer Park Boys.
Oh, yeah, baby.
So Bubbles was a huge Rush fan.
Huge, yep.
He gets one of the best episodes with Alex Lifeson.
Yep, and he plays Closer to the Heart with him in the fucking studio, dude.
Yeah, so I was like, that song's amazing. I have to.
Oh, yeah.
Who is this band? So I'm not going to say that I listen to all their music or anything, but really I love that song. And one of the best Trailer Park Boys episodes. So yeah, that's how I knew Rush. I was like, wait, I know Rush.
Hell yeah, dude. And they were unique, They were different. This guy sounded like a fucking alien on the microphone. I was like, what the hell is this? And then you listen to the record and you're like, oh, wow, this has to be a band of like 10 different dudes. It's 3 guys making that much noise. And then I was like, holy, this is fucking insane. Because you listen to Led Zeppelin, they have a fucking orchestra in some of their tunes. These guys, there's 3 dudes. It amazed me, and that's what got me in.
They seem like I watched a few live videos. They're pretty good live.
Oh yeah, they're fucking gnarly live.
That because they did the Trailer Park Boys episode at one of the concerts, I'm guessing. Because they had Bubbles come up live on stage.
Yep. That was probably fucking sick. Whoever went to that concert.
Yeah, being at that concert, and then Bubbles shows up. So good. So I fucking love Trailer Park Boys. One of my favorites.
Dude, I love mine too. I've seen him. I've watched the whole thing like multiple times.
It was my go-to program for a long time. I stopped watching when they came back on Netflix because it's just not the same. It's not as good as it was. The first 7 seasons are gold. They're so good. After that, and the movies as well. Some of the movies, like the Christmas movie, I watch that every year. Ricky throwing out weed in the church. So good. What else was I going to say to you there? This is difficult, no? Being the host. I have to be more dominant with the hosting. But I'm enjoying it, Tim. It's so good to have you here.
Oh, yeah, dude. Hell yeah, it is.
Getting to know you more. I think me and Dee would love to, like I said, we'd love to come to the US and just meet all these amazing people and hang out with you guys. Because there's nothing
we'll fucking party fucking like it's 1969, baby. We'll rock and roll, man. That'd be fun if you guys are out.
Here's a good question for you I wanted to bring up because I've seen a lot of this week on Facebook is the Spotify controversy. I don't know specifically with what this Daniel said about content being virtually free to make, and now there's everyone crying on Facebook like they're going to leave Spotify. What's your take? And then I'll tell you my take afterwards. But
Yeah. So my take with Spotify is I think it's the new SoundCloud, right? I don't think it'll ever be a place for revenue for artists. I think it'll always just be a place of advertisement, a place for free advertisement that you could rock. You could just put your shit on and get it out to ears. Spotify is flooded with so much music that, it's like I said, it's the new SoundCloud. And this dickhead, that stood up in front of the mic and, said it's free revenue. He's a fucking moron. But what he did is he has an entire fucking population of pissed off people at him. But now he's just created a mass media thing. So now his company is booming with stocks because everyone's eyes are on Spotify now. So, you could look at it as this guy's a fucking asshole, or you could look at it as it was a business decision on his own to boost his own revenue. And it's always been the same. Independent artists and underground artists are going to be treated like shit until a massive amount of people follow them and someone else looks at them and says, I can make money off of you. And, we are finally in a day and age where the indie community and the underground community can make music online and push it out on their own. They don't need some fancy fucking big fuck, trying to control their music. They don't need that. They need to push themselves and believe in them fucking selves. And then they don't need places like Spotify. They don't need places. They're always going to be necessary. But I just think it's more of a free advertisement than it is a place for revenue.
It's annoying because Spotify, it's like it works well.
Yep, you need it. It's a necessary evil.
It's just one of those things that I don't see how we're going to replace it quickly.
Exactly.
So it's like you have to get with it and just use it for what you can.
Yep.
But one of the things I didn't like about it was the sound quality. I noticed that even other platforms have better sound quality, which I didn't understand.
The big thing that you got to do with that, man, is you have to turn off. You go into those sound settings and you have to turn off. It's Dustin told me about it, but it's the setting. You turn it off, and then you now have the original audio that the song was recorded in instead of Spotify fucking with it. So it's like a setting in there. I'll have to message you and I'll ask Dustin afterwards. But it's a setting, and then you're able to do that original sound. That's why a lot of these tunes that I play on Spotify, some of them the recording quality sounds so fucking different. It's because I'm playing the original song and how the artist recorded it in.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
And it's just the functionality. The platform is really good, and
it's so easy.
So, it's always one of those, it's like I like to bet on sports as well. And I use Bet365 and I hate them. I hate them.
Fucking pain in the ass.
But I don't change them because they're the best. They have the best platform. So anyway, I don't know. I think people get too bogged down in this kind of stuff, worried about this stuff. It's like focus on 1,000 other things that you can be doing to promote your band, to make your music better. You've got merchandise. You've got a lot of other platforms where you can promote your work. So people are always going to use Spotify. I don't know what else there is to be said.
They always will, and but that's the sad truth. Is it's just a place for advertisement, and like that guy, he's just going to continue to use and use. But like I said, the indie community has always been used and used. It's always been abused. And, I think that's why I don't even listen to mainstream anymore, man. It's more or less, I just listen to all independent fucking music. And
we've stopped listening more or less. Like I have hundreds of playlists of my favorite artists from the last 20 years. And I've just stopped listening to them in the last 6 months because I'm just playlists from all of this music, the sweet beats and everything from your show. I'm just making playlists and just constantly, not even getting bored. Of course, I have to find new stuff, but it's amazing how many. I never imagined that there was so much really top talent, but with so few followers. It pains me, brings me to another question. What is the deal with Taylor Swift?
Oh my fuck, dude. Yikes.
I don't get this. Like, I'm in Barcelona, so I'm kind of out of the, let's say, Western culture. Like UK, in the UK, I would understand more of this because in the UK, for sure, she's huge as well. But she's not really famous, I guess. She probably is famous in Spain, of course, but not like in the United States.
Oh, it's.
So what is going on with? Why is she so famous?
I feel like, Taylor Swift has been around forever, and then suddenly overnight she became this fucking star. I don't know what happened, dude. I think she sold her soul, but conspiracy theory for me, because she has, now she's fucking everywhere, dude. So
everywhere.
Like, I'll be on the shitter and I'll be scrolling and I'll see at least fucking 10 posts of Taylor Swift.
It's 10 articles, but it's like everywhere. And pro Taylor Swift, pro.
Always pro. No
Always
one's
pro.
ever negative. Nothing negative. And it's like, All right. How about we go with the $800 tickets? Is that a fucking negative? That's a huge negative for me.
I'm going to tell you what I said to Deanna, but I'm going to try to clean it up before I tell you what. Basically, I believe she did something with every member of the elite.
Yep.
She did something to pleasure them all, like every single one of them, because that girl is everywhere.
Whatever it was, and even her relationship with Travis Kelce, it's fucking weird, dude. It's fucking weird. You don't see them even remotely being affectionate outside of being on camera. Like, you don't see. It's just weird. It's weird.
Seems political.
Oh yeah.
Political. Like, the Democrats have taken her as a
distraction.
She's obviously a Democrat, so they're using her as like I don't know. Again, this is the indie music community fault. I've stopped paying attention to like politics and all this stuff in the last 6 months. Really, I'm a politics guy. I'm a politics and sport guy. But for 6 months now, it's like R&D, music, TV productions. You know me well, all the time. So now I'm like, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. Why is Taylor Swift?
Yeah. It's wild, dude. I agree with you. Something fucking weird went on and she became a large star. 100%.
And this year you've got the election. Now, I'm not going to ask you about allegiances because I think this is... When I grew up, we didn't really talk like which party we were for, stuff like that. And actually, no, I'm anti-politics. I don't believe in any of it. What's your...
That's me, dude. I kind of like just distanced myself from politics because it became so fucking idiotic. We have I don't give a shit. Whatever. You got this guy up there who can't even finish a sentence, and then you have this other guy that has 36 felonies. What the fuck is happening? I feel like I'm in a Rick and Morty episode. And I'm in an alternate universe. It's insane. It's so idiotic with what's going on, the policies. You could be left, you can be right. But in the all actuality of things, it's nonsense. It's complete nonsense. We're listening to people on The View. Oprah Winfrey is telling me about what the fuck? What is happening? But with that, when you jump into it, all I want for America is somebody, one, who's not 80 years old, two, who has a fucking brain and that sees the actual progression of the country and looks out for the good of the country. And that's it, man. That's all you need. And they don't have to be in their 20s, but they have to be young enough to be able to know what to do and not have someone else pull the strings, right?
I quite like Kennedy. I'd say I quite like Kennedy.
He's an older one, but he's the only one that has said something beneficial to the campaign, and
seems vaguely human compared to Biden at this point.
Dude,
isn't even a real human. I mean, it's so weird because then you see him do the State of the Union. And he seemed to be perfectly normal. But then you see him do a press conference and he's like, senile.
Drugs
For sure. Yeah.
The puppet just needs to be able to stand there while the other one pulls the strings, right? I mean, it's very.
There's some weird. I can show you some weird conspiracies. Tim. I'm not going to put them on here because people are going to be like, "This Ryan's crazy." I'll show you offline a few videos. I was like, "What is going on here?
Yeah,
this is so weird. This is so weird." But anyway, with Biden, yeah, whatever. He's like 100 years old. Trump, I'm going to say, at the very least, he's a funny guy. At the very least, he's a funny guy.
He's got a big mouth.
He's got a big mouth, and really, he's got good comedic timing. Guy.
Oh yeah, he does. He's personable to a large population. He's a businessman, so he knows how to talk. He knows what to say, and he knows what people want to hear. So he knows his stuff. For me, you got to give it to the guy.
If you see politics as a kind of a comedy show, you can't take politics seriously anymore with the standard of the actual people that are running the governments, supposedly. So for me, I just take it as a show. So Trump is the best character in that show. It's just the best character.
Just the comedic.
But again, I've not even been paying attention the last 6 months, like I say, with this trial and all this stuff. So.
Oh, same. It's been kind of a blush. Whatever.
The US is a crazy country. I've only been when I was a little kid to for one day. I went one day in the United States. I was in Canada and I went via Boston. We went like one afternoon in Boston. That's the only time I was in the United States. But I've been to Montreal and Toronto and British Columbia, Calgary.
Oh, so dude, if you came to Iowa, you'd be like, "What the fuck? Where am I?" You'd be like, "What's going on?"
I don't know, it'd just be so cool to go over the US with that camper van.
Oh, hell yeah.
The weed-friendly states, going through the weed-friendly ones. Avoiding those. Do you have legal? Is it legal there in Iowa?
Yeah. Illinois, right in Illinois, which is right on the border.
Yeah, I saw this. Like, more states now have it legalized than don't.
Oh yeah. It's very, very lax now in I would say most of the country. It's very, very lax. There's even some states out here that you can buy legal mushrooms. So there.
Amsterdam is like that.
Oh, Amsterdam, dude! It's a free for all. It's just rock and roll.
It's so funny in Amsterdam because they've got everything in the shop. So when you're on the street, they have to offer you like extra hardcore drugs like cocaine, crack, ecstasy.
We got the harder shit over here.
This guy's like cocaine, crack, ecstasy. I'm like, what else? He's like, and he's rattled off like 30 drugs. So I was like, you're okay, I'm good.
Ibuprofen, aspirin, we got it all.
That brings me on to another question, Tim. You always ask your guests about drugs. And my question for you was, what is the strangest experience you had when you were, you don't have to tell me what you were doing, but in relation to drugs, what did you experience?
I would say a long time ago, mushrooms. Mushrooms were, that took me to a different, type of place. And it was taken in a legal state and everything, but it was a while ago. And that brought my mentality to a point. First, it was very, very dark. And then it turned to really, really light. And it was a very weird feeling. It was almost like I felt every emotion at once. And at first, it was very overwhelming. I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then suddenly I just started looking out and I was in the woods, actually. And I just was sitting there and I looked out and I'm like, okay, all right, everything's going to be fine. And then I got up and started walking around and then starting to listen to everything and everything kind of gathered. And it was like one of the most peaceful times in my life. That was probably the best experience.
Best experience.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I don't do these things anymore. Only that we like to smoke. But when I was young, I did something. I took something, let's say, that was quite powerful.
Right.
And I was with two friends in their house. My house was just like 5 minutes away. I was like 19. I was still living with my mom. And we were at this house, and I was like, "Well, I'm really feeling this now." And then the phone started to ring, and it was my house, the number on the can see the number. I was
That's trippy.
And it was like 2 a.m. Like, who's calling from my house? Like, you have to answer. I can't. It must be my mom. I can't speak to my mom right now.
Right.
He's like, "Ryan, you have to come. Someone's trying to break into the house."
Oh no! Oh fuck!
So me and my 2 friends, we leave and we start running, and I'm like, tripping balls. We run like 400 meters to get there, and who is there? Is my other friend, who's drunk out of his mind on his like 19th, 20th birthday.
Oh no!
At my window, "Ryan, where are you?"
And was he fucking with you?
No, he was just fucking wasted, man. He was drunk. He didn't know what we were doing. So it was just like a very bad coincidence. These 2 events merged at the same time.
Oh no, dude, that offers a very bad trip.
It's such a bad trip, man. You know, like when I went back, like, sitting in the sofa for an hour just trying to calm down.
Oh no.
That was a bad one. Just came to me when you were telling me, I was like, what was my strangest? That was pretty strange.
Oh man, it's
fortunately didn't get much worse than that. But I think this is anyways, an overblown topic. I just had to throw it to you because you like to throw it.
Hell yeah, dude! I love throwing that. I love throwing the uncomfortable questions out at people. The questions that not really anyone would want to answer or be asked. You know, I love that shit because I'm trying to actually get to know these musicians, not only as musicians, but as an individual and a person. Let's see what you got to offer, you know, beyond your music. That's what I'm all about, man.
Yeah, and that's the point of this idea that I had for the show. It's just really wanting to get to know everyone more.
Yeah, dude, bring people out of the shell.
Selfish,
no, not at all. Not at all,
like,
dude.
How can I speak to all these people? Let's do a show.
Fuck yeah, man. To get people, you know, because someone is going to want to watch it, man. Always. Interviews are fucking awesome.
Well, I really love podcasts, like personally. Every night I go to sleep with my headphones.
Yeah, with a podcast or something like that. Yeah.
And even the same podcast I'll listen to like over and over in cycles because you fall asleep after 20 minutes. So you have to keep rewinding it and putting it back. So I'm big into UFO podcasts. I'm listening to the pyramids of the pyramids in Egypt.
Oh yeah.
Giza, there's a theory now about the Giza power plant, that these pyramids were power plants, basically. It's very interesting. So I'm listening to this guy talk about this for 3 hours for the last 2 weeks. So I love listening to long form conversations. So it's like, let's do it. That brings me on to, I'm almost done with the questions.
You're good, brother.
What's your take on the UFO? I'm not going to say if you believe in aliens, because it's more than that at this point, because you've had this, let's say, UAP task force in the US government in the last few years. A lot of press, a lot of discussion about this. And now recently they said, no, nothing to see here. It's all old news. So what do you think?
For me, there's definitely someone else out there. 100%. Because, you know, if you look beyond our solar system, beyond our galaxy, there is millions, billions, trillions of galaxies. And there's always, you know, even if you look on Mars or you look on the moon or you look on, you know, other planets, there's always a certain type of organism or thing that's happening, which means that evolution and things can happen on that planet, which means that something can be born, right? So there's gotta be something out there. And what's scary enough, Ryan, is if you really, really look past it, you can even jump into who the hell created all of it. You know, because every religion has its representation, but you know, who created all of it? Who fucking snapped their fingers and went, I want to do this, and just created just a fucking everything. That's what freaks me out.
It's like to go mad. No?
It's insane.
I get lost in that, but I agree with you for sure. There's definitely life out there. I guess the question is, does it come here?
Right. Or has it been here, or is it already here?
Or does it even come from here?
Right.
Somewhere else here, we have the oceans, we have Antarctica,
Yep.
I like, I don't know if you've heard of Stephen Greer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an interesting one that I was listening to recently. I know he's like got a lot of, like, he's a controversial guy. Another one is John Lear. He speaks a lot of really interesting stuff. I love these guys. Like, I don't know how much of it I believe, but I love to listen. It's fascinating.
Oh yeah, it's super interesting to learn someone else's take on stuff too.
One of my favorite podcasts about this is Weaponized. It's Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp. George Knapp has been investigating UFOs since like the 80s.
Oh shit! So okay,
he really knows the stuff, and they're the ones that released all the footage we've seen in the last few years, like the Tic Tac. You know the Tic Tac?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they were the ones. Somehow now everyone is so weird, like this whole situation, because you start to think how much of this is misinformation, how much of this is planned by the government, like who is involved really. It's so frustrating.
It's a rabbit hole, bro. You know, me and my wife Hallie, we're going to be starting a podcast together. It's gonna be very yeah. This is exclusive, but you're the first one I'm telling about it. We're going to be doing a podcast, and it's going to be topics of anything, and nothing is off limits. So you know me. And I'm going to bring a lot of the energy, the comedy to things like that. But Hallie's going to bring more or less the informative and the facts to the situation.
Wow.
So it's going to be a super, trippy, fucking podcast. I'm excited. Yeah. We'll start out with like pre-recorded things, just like how you're doing with this. And then we're going to jump into actual lives, and we'll have the camera on both of us. And, we're going to be talking about, she's just as fucking dark and raunchy as me. So don't let it fool you.
Janet's like, that's why I want Dee on the show, because she's way worse than me. Like, I'm British. I'm quite reserved sometimes. But she's Colombian girl.
She's out. She's going for it.
She's done everything. She knows everything. Like, really, Janet, she's got such a life. So I think adding the lady touches, but you get a bigger audience as well.
Oh yeah, you do. You do. Unfortunately, but you do.
Well, it's been amazing chatting to you.
Hell yeah, dude.
We're almost at the hour, so I'm going to let you go because it's getting late here, and I know Diana is coming back soon.
No worries, brother.
So I have to get ready, get this place fixed up.
It was a fucking blast talking to you, man.
It was so good, Tim, to have you on our show. Really, like, I don't know how successful this is going to be. I don't know how well received it's going to be, but at the very least, I got to speak to you for an hour, and I hope I'm going to get you back on, because really, I only touched like very little of what I really wanted to speak to you about. So we only touched the base, the surface and stuff.
Hell yeah, dude.
Really good, man.
Brian, it will take off, brother. Trust me. You already have the amazing music. That's already a starting point for you guys. And now you have this, give it time. And I guarantee you it's going to take off. You're very, very charismatic, even though you don't think you are. You are, and you're filled with a lot of different, energy and a lot of different fucking facts, bringing it to the table. So I can only imagine when you bring Dion that it's going to be a very, very fun show. So no worries.
I think so, man. Yeah, I think it's been fun. What else do I want to tell you? I think that was it. Thank you completely, Tim.
Yeah, brother.
So that's a wrap.